Together with my dear friend, Chancellor Merkel, we had a very positive dialogue based on the friendship as of 2005, which was the onset of her duty. Throughout all the bilateral talks, Ms. Merkel presented a very friendly approach. During her term as the Chancellor, her leadership was decisive throughout the crisis that the European Union has gone through. Although from time to time our relations have ups and downs, we were able to overcome all those obstacles and improved our relationships even further. Our close dialogue with Ms. Merkel didn't only focus on bilateral relations, but at the same time it contributed a lot to the resolution of the conflicts in the region, from prevention of the irregular migration from Syria to dispatch of the humanitarian aids to the northern Syria. On many topics, Ms. Merkel didn't abstain from taking initiatives and undertaking responsibility. And I also would like to thank Ms. Merkel on behalf of myself and my nation for her sincere efforts for resolving the Syrian problem. On this occasion, I also hope and wish that the election results of 26th of September to be auspicious for the German nation and Germany. And I, first and foremost, wish success to the new government. I also hope that our good relations with Germany will continue in the new term. Distinguished guests, there is another field in which the leadership of Ms. Merkel has been felt, which is the relations between Turkey and European Union. As Turkey, despite all those obstacles and barriers in the negotiation process, as Turkey, we will always remember in good faith the contributions made by Ms. Merkel to our relations with the European Union. In today's talk, we had a chance to discuss many issues, including but not limited to bilateral relations. We once again confirmed and reaffirmed the importance that we attached to the EU-Turkey relations. The renewal of the 18th of March and the renewal of the custom unions were among the critical topics that we have discussed together with my dear friend. And we had a chance to exchange our views regarding to the topics of Syria, Afghanistan, and Eastern Mediterranean. In the shortest time possible, we are aiming to increase our bilateral trade to the volume of 50 billion Turkish liras. And as you know, between Turkey and Germany this year, we have been celebrating the 60th year of anniversary of the agreement undersigned between Germany and Turkey regarding to the labor force. The Turkish community, which contributed a lot for the welfare of the Germany, we also would like to congratulate their efforts, and we are so happy that they have close relations with Ms. Merkel. And in order to fight against the discrimination, xenophobia, and Islamophobia, we should take further steps, because those are the problems of the Turkish communities in Europe. Against all those perpetrators who are showing discrimination and hate speech to the Turkish community in Europe, the necessary precautions should be taken. The roots of Islamophobia and xenophobia should be eradicated so that the Turkish community will feel at home in Europe. And Chancellor Merkel was always sincere regarding to the solution of those problems. And I certainly believe that the successor will show the same level of sincerity. I am certain that Ms. Merkel will continue to contribute to Turkish and German relations. As I conclude my remarks, I once again would like to thank my dear friend, Ms. Merkel, as she paid her official visit one last time as the Chancellor of Germany. The international community will continue to benefit from her experiences. Thank you very much.
Ja, danke schön für den Empfang hier heute in einem ganz speziellen Haus, dem Haus Huber, wie ich gelernt habe, das Anfang des 20. Jahrhunderts einem deutschen Industriellen gehörte. Das Ganze auch Rücken an Rücken mit dem deutschen Konsulat hier in Istanbul. Also etwas symbolisch dafür, dass wir uns immer auch in den letzten Jahren, und das darf ich für mich auch ganz persönlich sagen, um gute Beziehungen mit der Türkei bemüht haben, auch wenn es Meinungsverschiedenheiten gab und gibt. Aber ich glaube, es gibt sehr viel, was dazu uns aufruft, für diese guten Beziehungen zu arbeiten. Nicht zuletzt das, was der Präsident Erdoğan genannt hat, nämlich auch die 60 Jahre Anwerbeabkommen und die Tatsache von mehr als 3 Millionen türkischstämmigen Menschen, die in Deutschland leben. Wir haben in Deutschland mehr als 3 Millionen türkischstämmigen Menschen, die in Deutschland
iş gücü anlaşmasının ve tabii ki Almanya'da yaşamakta olan 4 milyona yakın Türkiye kökenli.
And we have celebrated with the ceremonies, and right now there are doctors and the scientists in Germany. There are the mothers, and there are also the doctors and the lawyers whose grandfathers and grandmothers are the immigrants. So this also shows us how good careers they have. Özlem Şahin and let me correct, Uğur Şahin and Özlem Türeci are among the nicest examples. We had a chance to evaluate our good relations and bilateral relations. On this occasion, we had a chance to discuss the German citizens who are prohibited from traveling abroad in the context of the human rights. And we are also closely following the human rights violations, the xenophobic and Islamophobic practices. And as the Chancellor, I always stood against those practices. We had a chance to discuss the EU-Turkey relations, and the illegal migration is of critical importance. So we also stated that the support given by European Union to Turkey in that regard will continue, and Turkey has undersigned to many projects regarding to the issue of migration, and we have been cooperating and collaborating in the field of human smuggling, against the human smuggling, and together with the United Nations, we will and we have to put some effort so that further humanitarian crises are not taking place in Afghanistan. And we exchanged our views regarding to the Afghan immigrant issue, and we also exchanged our views and information regarding to the crisis of Syria. Unfortunately, the situation in Idlib is quite tense, and the constitution process is not going on well in Syria. And we discussed the issue of Libya. The consecutive conference of the Berlin process will take place in France, and we hope that the elections will take place in Libya in the soonest time possible, so that a permanent solution will be obtained in Libya. And we also stated that the foreign forces should be withdrawn from Libya, because there are the mercenaries coming from Sudan in Libya. So I wish that further progress will be obtained in that regard. As you know, there was the wildfire disaster in Turkey and the flood disasters in Germany. So all those incidents once again reminded us how important a topic the climate change is. I am so grateful that Turkey has undersigned and ratified the Paris Agreement. As you know, the G20 conference will take place, and during this G20 conference, Germany will support Turkey as well. So the talks were quite comprehensive, and we had a chance to discuss all those issues, and we had the chance to discuss the exploratory talks, and Germany was insisting so that the exploratory talks would continue, but there are still many issues that should be overcome, but we know that those issues can be solved only through dialogue. The issue of human rights, the issue of Cyprus can be resolved in the long term. Of course, those problems are 16 years old, and 16 years was not enough. But throughout 16 years of a time frame, we have accomplished many things. But I'm so grateful that despite our views, we preserved the dialogue. I also would like to thank. We will take two questions. We will take two questions from the German side, and we will take two questions from the Turkish side as well. From the German side, if they can address themselves, RDF.
Ja, Oliver Meyer-Rüth ist mein Name, hallo.
My name is Oliver Meyer-Rüth. I am not standing up so that I will not prevent the cameras behind me. You have spoken about finding the common ground, and you have spoken about the last 16 years. And I would like to mention briefly to the issue of imprisonment and the human rights issues. In your previous conferences, you have always mentioned those issues. Do you have any idea whether there are progress regarding to those issues? Because we know that the trials are going on in Turkey. One of the German citizens, due to a political reason, was imprisoned for 3 years. And do you think that there are progress in this field, or are you disappointed? And I also would like to receive the opinion of the President. Well, you know those incidents as well.
Lot of cases which can be solved, but there are always new questions. So this is always a matter of different issues. We have to speak about that, and we try to find solutions. Sometimes we also have very different ideas, for instance, but as a whole I can say that when we speak together, we come to the best results.
I also would like to thank Ms. Chancellor. Well, we can never forget one reality. The justice system and the jurisprudence is independent in each country, and we are advocating for the independence of the jurisprudence. So, as the President, I cannot intervene in the decisions and verdict given by the jurisdiction, as long as we believe in the justice served by the justice. The second question will come from the German side.
Ja, Miriam Schmidt von der Deutschen Presseagentur. Ich habe auch eine Frage an
Schmidt,
beide.
Deutsche Presseagentur. I would like to ask two questions about the refugees. Did you speak about that, and did you come to an agreement about this point? Of course, the refugee agreement is an agreement between EU and Turkey. Of course, I think that it was very important for me as well, because we wanted to fight against that. And of course, European Union has to support Turkey. It is her duty. And we are talking about 6 billion and a lot of projects have been prepared because of that. And a part of that money has already been paid. I am very glad to see that Mr. Johansson also is taking a decision in the European Parliament, and there will be also another payment besides the one which has been done. Unfortunately, we couldn't speak a lot about Syrian refugees, and especially what happens in Greece. The European Union, as you know, has taken 10,000, but the process is not finished yet. But this refugees agreement is going on. There are some things which have been added, and there is the custom union. We spoke about the details, but we can't solve all this problem by ourselves, because we have 27 member countries in the European Union, and there is also the European Council, where we also have to speak about this very important point.
Well, as you know very well, Turkey is like a guest house regarding to the issue of immigrants. As you know, we have 5 million immigrants from Syria, we have immigrants from Afghanistan, from Syria. The number from Afghanistan is 300,000, and we still host those people, and we cannot push those people back as Greece is doing. It's not possible. And we still continue to host those people in Turkey, and we will continue to be hosts, because we accept and embrace immigrants, and we are constructing the houses of a briquette rather than hosting those people in their tents. And up until now we have constructed more than 60,000 houses, and we are hoping to increase that number over to the level of 100,000. Thank you very much. Right now we can receive the questions from the Turkish media. Apologies, due to the cameras I will not be able to stand up. I'd like to ask a question which is out of our agenda, and I'd like to address my agenda to Ms. Merkel. You have been in power for 16 years, and our president is in power for last 19 years. So as a result, Mr. President is one of the politicians that you have been working for a while, and he is one of the politicians that you know very well. What would you like to say about him as a politician? And I would like to ask the same question to you, Mr. President. How was it to work with Ms. Merkel?
we are
Ich
not
habe
here
ja
in order
schon
to
gesagt, dass
discuss the
wir
one
immer
about
die
the other.
Zusammenarbeit gepflegt
I
haben.
always said that the
in den
collaboration
Jahren, in
was
denen ich
very
mit
good.
Präsident
In the
Erdoğan oder
years
mit
in
früheren
which I worked with
Kontakt hatte,
Mr. Erdoğan, or at the time when he was Prime Minister, a lot of things have happened in Turkey, a lot of developments. When you think about infrastructure, only if you look at Istanbul or Ankara, for instance, I saw what has happened, how many people live there, and I also know that there are a lot of economic problems, but the life standard has changed in the meantime. You know that Turkey is a NATO member. It is a NATO which unites us, and when you look at Istanbul, we can say that Turkey is really a bridge between Europe and Asia, and has an Asian and a European part. I am a little bit critical about developments which have been seen in the field of individual freedom or human rights. When I think about the German university, we also try to find the best solutions. And we see that from the geostrategical point of view, we are very dependent. Maybe we can act at the same manner or not, but we spoke about Africa, and it is our neighbor continent, Africa, as you know. So the only advice I can give you is, I think that this will also be the same thing for the coming government in Germany. The relationship between Germany and Turkey, with its positive and negative sides, will go on. It will be recognized by the next government, and everybody knows that our security and our independence is depending from one country to the other.
Well, 16 years is no short time. As you have stated yourself, I have been in power for more than 19 years, and we have talked with many world leaders, and we have worked with them, and Ms. Chancellor was quite successful in terms of administering Germany, and in the upcoming process we will see the development of our relations. Well, without the coalition governments, most probably the Turkish and German relations could have been in a better place. Of course, it is not easy to work with the coalition governments. This was the case in Turkey. We couldn't obtain the results that we desired, but with the establishment of the presidential system, we got rid of those coalition governments, and we indulged in a very intense study, and you have seen it as well as the member of the Turkish media, and we hope that we will have the successful relations with the new government, because, as you know, there is an unleashed potential of the Turkish community in Germany, and hopefully the healthy relations between those two countries will be established as well. As long as the Turkish community is happy in Germany, we will be happy as well. And once again, we are hoping that we will reach to a bilateral trade volume of $50 billion.
We shouldn't forget that I also like to work with my coalition partners, because you know that there is federalism in Germany, and we don't have the intention to have a presidial system, but we want to have very good relations with Turkey.
Well, Ms. Chancellor, from time to time you have yourself criticized us
Das stimmt.
and complained it.
So ist das im Leben, ja. Trotzdem ist es schön. Trotzdem ist es schön.
That's life, but it's nice.
My grandson says to me the same sentence. Grandfather, what can you do? This is life. Yes, please.
Erdoğan 24 televizyonu Sayın Şansölye.
From TV24, Ahmet Dinçer, Ms. Chancellor, there is an concerning increase about xenophobia and Islamophobia in Germany. In order to prevent it increasing even further, what kind of a recommendation can you give to the new government, and what kind of a policy are you going to follow? And what would you like to say about performing at Hans from the mosques in Germany?
Yes, this is a decision of Köln. We have religious freedom in Germany, and that's why such a decision has been taken. But besides of that, I would like to tell you that we all are against racism. We are also again to be an enemy against other religions, and we want to be tolerant. But unfortunately, when we speak about Islam or anti-Semitism, we have had terrible events in Germany, and especially in the field of racism. And I am convinced that all federal states, as well as the government, will try to take this question very seriously. And we have also prepared a lot of means in order to also have the civil society, which will also struggle against racism or religious problem. This will be a duty for the coming government. Unfortunately, the situation has become worse because of the internet, and this will be a very important duty for the next government.
Well, thank you very much. We have come to the end of our press meeting. Hopefully, we will benefit from the valuable opinions of Ms. Chancellor in the international conferences as well. Once again, with this desire in our hearts, I'd like to wish her success on behalf of myself and my nation in her future life.
Nasıl? Nerede alacaksınız? He?
You were just listening to the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan and outgoing German Chancellor Angela Merkel holding a joint press conference here in Istanbul. The two leaders reiterated their commitment to reinforcing bilateral relations between Turkey and Germany. They also spoke about some regional issues, including Syria, and also the migration issue that is unfolding in Afghanistan. Let's get more on this. Joining us now live from Istanbul is Ali Mustafa. Ali, what are the key takeaways from this press conference?
Sir, when a question was asked of Angela Merkel and Erdoğan that